Okay, I'm back. Finally, I know I took a day off, but that was mainly because I got distracted from stuff and it got too late. Got too late again today, but I want to at least try to get on here more often. Yeah, I had just exited the world to make sure it saved and restabilize the server because I was starting to get some lag drops. So it'll take a moment for it to start up, and you might be able to see some of the changes I've made because stuff has been reworked. Stuff has been reworked a lot. One of the first changes, you might be able to hear it, I'm currently flying. My jetpack has a lot more, shall we say, stability. I don't sink as fast when I'm in hover mode. I also have rainbow smoke now because I was excited when two bats finally spawned. So I managed to get my Dark Solarium jet plate. 12 armor. That's just, I love that it's got 12 armor. That is so much. I've been doing some stuff with Thaumcraft. So there's a little bit over here that got expanded. Not much, just like these two. Freaking hate that thing. Can't figure out how the magic works. There's a caster's gauntlet and foci and all this other stuff that you're supposed to be able to cast certain spells. Like I made one that's supposed to let me turn stuff I touch into ice, but even when I'm using the caster's gauntlet, it had the foci. I don't know how to equip it. There's like no interface to it that I can figure out. Yellow Night Ore, that's from Thaumcraft because I needed to make it for an achievement and all this other stuff. One of the quest lines in the book. Oh, I have one that I found. Oh yeah, I made the goggles because I couldn't figure out that other thing that's over there now. That's part of my generators. Couldn't figure out this thing, and I needed the goggles to know what was going on with it. Thaumcraft is not very clear, especially since it doesn't integrate with the JEI that well. You have to use the book to look up most recipes. Yeah. This part, like the title might suggest, is me mainly going to the mine dimension. I held off on going there until I was ready to stream again. Because it might be a little bit exciting. It might be something to actually do during one of these instead of me just rambling for over an hour like all the other ones were. Actually give me something to talk about it sometimes too, so I'm not just repeating myself again and again and again and again and again. Like the first one, I said like the same stuff 3 or 4 times. Sorry about that. Another big change. Well, let's start with this one, because this one's a lot easier to explain. I finished off my second row of cloches. Yay! So now I have much more production on a lot of my stuff. Don't need it for a lot of the stuff, for reasons I'll get to in a moment, but it's got some more production. Yeah, this is weird. For some reason, I did the flux before I did the diamond. I don't know why. But yeah, we're actually, that's diamond. I did the flux before I did the emerald. That's right. Yeah. Some of them, even from the first batch, I took away for the second batch and just doubled up on a couple. When I do the third row, because I'm going to have to do a third row, because it takes way too much of some of this stuff, I'm going to reduce it down even more. So the third row will have 4 groupings of both the diamond and emerald. This one's emerald, right? Yeah. Instead of just 2, like that one. Of course, the third row also won't have any fluxed anymore, because I already put the second flux on that row. Yeah. Of course, that's just, this is stuff that if you know what it is, it took a long time to do. Not that difficult, but just took some time. Got all my chests here with all my different things, or my drawers with all my different things. Yeah. Finally finished that off. And that was the last thing I did before quitting out last time. Or the last actual progress I made. The really last thing I did involved these guys in here. Well, not the chickens. Chickens I did mostly yesterday. Clearing that out. These guys were the last thing I did, so their timer should, yep, not bare, well, halfway apparently, man. But yeah, Yeah, I have 2 liquid death going now because it's just taking so long to get the next one I need. Both of the next ones I need, which are both required for the last one, take require liquid death. Yeah, these both require liquid death, and they're both required for the last one. So I decided to do both of them at the same time. Try to save a little bit of time on this because it's taking so long. I also killed a zombie pigman. That one was easy to do. Did that quite a while ago, actually. As far as I hadn't claimed that yet, but I hardly ever checked the book, so. Yeah, when I teleport, it puts me like half an inch off the ground, and the hover ability on this jetpack is good enough that I actually don't drop at all. Like, I'll just stay still at whatever height I hover at. It will constantly use power, but if you have the wireless power system set up with the flux correctly, and you have enough power to spare, it will constantly go up. I mean, it's using 850 RF per tick, but I have a lot of RF saved up. This isn't even going down. It's not even changing. I don't know what it's taking from. Yeah. That was some of the stuff I did. One of the things I did, because I don't know if that wireless charging will work interdimensionally. So one of the things I set up, one of the first things I set up, was this chest. This chest has a gargantuan flux storage and the flux controller, which are these two objects over here. The flux controller is what lets me turn on the wireless charging. That's actually keeping my jetpack fueled. But over here, the rest of the stuff in that chest is just this stuff. There's a barrel in that chest, and the reason why there's a barrel in that chest is because these don't stack. Gas-burning generators do not stack. And there's 36 of them in this. Nope. No, that's a lie. There's 72 of them in this. So, yeah. Them not stacking was an issue, so I put them in a barrel that has infinite slots so that I could just carry all of them at the same time. Since I've been on here for many hours, this stuff's constantly progressing. I have all but 2 of the singularities now. I'm just missing Diamond and Emerald, which is why I'm increasing that on the 3rd row whenever I work on that. Didn't take me a week to do the 2nd row. But, yeah. Yeah, some of them like redstone, nether quartz, lapis, iron. Lapis, redstone, and quartz are the 3 I cut out for the 2nd row. I'm also going to start cutting out iron, copper, fluxed because I have 3 going already. And I believe I'm actually going to check my book because I have it written down. Silver. No, not silver. I'm cutting out iron, copper, the 2 fluxed. Yeah. If I cut out the iron, copper, and 2 flux, that gives me 4 extra. The 4 divided between those 2 means they each get 2 more. They currently have 2, so they'll each have 4 in the next row. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I didn't do this. I have to look at something. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3. There's going to be one under there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's actually not too bad. Do I have? Did I actually remember that? No, I did not. I forgot to put a very important item in there. I have just enough. Considering I've used several hundred in those, I have just enough. 4 extra left over is just enough. Yeah, because these are the flux plugs. That adds energy to the network. This takes energy from the network. And several of the machines in this require energy from the network. I'm probably not going to build this in the mining dimension. Saying that now, because I found, I'm going to have to do testing with it later, Probably not on stream because it's going to take time to build. I'm going to have to go for this way of finding it because... Nope. I'm going to go for this way of finding it. To make my chest plate... Oh, this has Quicksilver in it. I'll probably put that in here. Yeah, I worked on Thaumcraft some. Like I said. I needed a soul binder. This was annoying to make. Luckily, I already had all the skulls. Basic capacitor in here. I now have a better capacitor that I could throw in, but don't really need it. Because it's constantly getting power anyway. I was just randomly looking through the menu to see what this could make, because this is Soul Vial for Enderman. Makes an Ender Crystal. With a Vibrant Crystal, which I do know how to make as well. Yeah, I needed one for my Dark Solarium Jet Plate, which is why I was interested in what else I can make. And you can right-click on stuff to see what it's used in. You left-click to see how it's built. If that's built... If they have built that functionality into it, some of the stuff and some of the mods, like Thaumcraft, again, really annoying, doesn't do that. This thing, Dimensional Transceiver. I'm going to try to build this thing later. Transports items, fluids, and power wirelessly across any distance and between dimensions. Yeah, I might end up making a lot of those in the future, which means I'm going to have to change my mob spawner, because each one I make is going to require an Enderman head. And also the Slice and Spice requires a head too, but I have plenty of heads. I have like so many skeleton skulls. Let me actually check. Yeah. Yeah. They like spawning, and they liked spawning in the room I built. Could have sworn I had another Enderman head. I gotta actually... I have to check down there, actually. Oh, I don't have a... I got rid of my Wither waypoint because I hardly ever check down here anymore. I'll probably I'm going to remake one and name it something else entirely. Because this is something I need for some of the Thaumcraft stuff, too. It's another skeleton head. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure that out. Okay, so that thing can give you those drops. I just need to figure this out better. I can actually do that better right now. I'm going to do that right now, just quickly. I will be going to the Mind Dimension. Rainbow! I was so excited to get those bats, I just made this rainbow too, because it was really easy to do. Yeah. I need that, because I redid the chickens. I'll have to show you what it looks like in the back room now. But then I was able to salvage a lot of these that I was wasting before on their pathways. So if I go now back there, teleport doesn't work. I'll actually take a couple because it's worth it. I'll take the whole stack, and then I'll go this to the cloche. This isn't... I'm taking several in case it backs up, because there's certain things that don't like to transfer through those pipes. But you'd never know until it actually tries to go through it. I know from Sky Factory 3 when I was making a mob grinder, some stuff doesn't like going through the transfer pipes. Let's get rid of this using an actual pickaxe. Let's start by pulling as much of that out as we can and throwing it in here. I'll take these, quickly use them. Well, relatively quickly. You have to hold down the button, and this is as fast as it goes. I'm not clicking individually for this. It went faster clicking individually. As I said that, I was like, would it be faster? Turns out it was for me. Wouldn't be for everybody. putting back as much of that as I can. Some of this is going to go back to base later. Okay. I got that and that. Okay. Let me take the item collector. Alright. Then we throw some of this back in. Some of it I'll take with me. Not all of it I'll take with me, but some of it. I actually found the use for zombie brains. They're quite useful for certain things. I'll take all the loot crates. I'll take that skull. Take that. That's actually quite useful too, for a similar reason. Be right back. I actually have to do that because there wasn't space in my inventory to put it again. I'm so used to shift, just like shift click to put it back in my inventory. Yeah, I reworked this. This is the main change here. Because I need a lot of this to make that third row. I need like 22 blocks to make that third row. Yeah, it was coming too slow. This is all now. This now is all inferium, and I got rid of the ones that would go over there. I also got rid of the excess draconium, so this is my only draconium now. But like I showed last time, I got a ton of draconium. I want to quickly do something. Just for the heck of it. Alright. But, yeah. I've been doing stuff for quite a while. I am going to rework that mob grinder probably off stream later, just because there's some very specific things I want to try to get. Also, I need more heads, and they tend to drop faster if you're using a very specific or specific different thing. I actually want to hold on to these chests because they are useful every now and then. Not as good as a wooden chest, but still useful if I need a chest for something random. Yeah, the zombie heads are good for Thaumcraft because I have never seen something else that gives those first two. Or at least never processed something else that gives those first two. Cobwebs are helpful because I still haven't found much stuff that gives you the trap. The bear trap thing. Carrots. Carrots go in this chest. Yes. Bone. Bone goes in this chest. And Ender Pearl goes in here with the over 10,000 other Ender Pearls. Almost 20,000 other Ender Pearls. I keep saying other. Like utter. Accents. I had a weird thing in school. A lot of people would say that I lived in Minnesota my whole life. Rochester, Minnesota was where I was born and raised until I was 18. Like, almost once a year, I'd be interacting with people more often than I had in the past type of thing, and they would say, you have a bit of an accent. Sometimes. Like, that'd be how they'd say it, too. It's like, sometimes you got a bit of an accent type of thing, but I really don't know what it would have come from, because I lived there my entire life. Ah, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there. Oop. Yeah, that jetpack sounded like a little annoying at times because, oh, that's compressed flesh. That's actually kind of helpful. There's certain things that, well, there was, for one of the things I'm trying to make in Thaumcraft again, or one of the things I made in Thaumcraft, I needed a special type of wood that the only way to get the sapling in this mob was to sift and this is what it was called, flesh block. I had to sift a block of flesh, which is just made using leather and rotten flesh, but still. So I'm actually taking the raw flesh because it's useful. String isn't too bad, but I'll leave it here for now. What was I wanting? I want this, 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 this. Yes. Do I need anything else? I'll take some of these to throw in the Thaumcraft chest. Right, base. Oop. You guys can go in here again. Yeah, I'm organizing a bit. Probably should have done this before jumping on, but stuff comes to mind when it comes to mind. I'll put that in there for now. Taking the other ones, this is the one that needs it. I don't remember if I showed off what's down there in my first stream or not. I think I did, but I don't know if I did. I want to replace that with a smooth stone anyway, so. Yeah, there is a line of, it's 4 round of the explosive generators. It's several blocks down before it even starts. The explosive generators. Yeah, no, that's kind of a waste for 1 block. If I use too much power suddenly, like if I'm setting up one of those systems or something, and I happen to come back here for something, like relatively quickly, it's so just loud and constant and all of that other stuff. This one, I want to throw in that. Yep. And then over here, have some rotten flesh. Oh, I put sponges in there too. I keep forgetting to make that new one. Dang it. Alright, go in there, ender chest for now. I don't know why sometimes these don't spawn. I think the reason why they don't stack is some of these were a loot reward for like completing a quest, and some of them are ones I actually crafted. Yeah, the clay ones just give you 2 blocks of clay. Sometimes I think they give you 3 blocks of clay, but they just give you blocks of clay. I'll take the rare ones too while I'm at it. The only annoying thing about this, you have to move your mouse down to click close. Then it moves your mouse back to the center, and you have to move your mouse down to click close. Then it moves it back to the center, and you have to move your mouse down to click close. So if you don't like constantly look up afterwards, it will slowly move your mouse down, 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 further and further on your mouse pad. Or whatever you're playing on. I don't know if these stack or not. They do. They go back on this page. Compact giant chance cubes. I already had a few. Silicon? Silicon? There's 2 types of silicon. Applied Energistics and Ender.io have their own types of silicon. Just wasteful. Alright. Down we go. Oh, this jet plate is wonderful, though. I'm going to do something quick. There we go. Yeah, quick is the word. Add new. Mob. Commit. Can I move them? I don't know how to... Oh, okay. That's what that does. Okay, that's how you move them. Alright, I'll leave it like that for now. Oh yeah, I was doing that. Hey, Martin Furium, shut up. I'll just put down like that many for now. Especially since I'm teleporting here anyway. Almost moving like individual arrows right now. Okay, the bows move through. In Sky Factory 3, I think if anything had any like durability damage, it wouldn't move along at all, which was weird. So you couldn't transport armor or something like that. I'm taking these arrows. I need to know if that moves. Yes, it does. Good. Alright. So that will transport along, and that gives me a lot of space for items. But I'll work on that. What I want to do with that room later, I just want to make sure it can keep getting things. Base. Alright. So I can put these back. And then I'll put away the arrows. I never use arrows. I legitimately never use arrows. Even when I get a long-range weapon later, it will have an upgrade on it that means it doesn't use arrows. God, I love this jet plate. And the other armor I'm wearing is Wyvern armor. That's why I have this thing in this stuff in the bottom left. That stuff prevents me from taking damage as long as I have energy. It has an energy buffer, though, that has to refill over time. Not based on getting more energy in the system, but just refills over time. So if you get absolutely wrecked over and over again in a short period, it will wear out and you will take damage and probably die. Before I was wearing Emeratic, which is still really good, honestly. Yeah. The Wyvern cores and all this other stuff in here. Ah. Okay, to not put it off any longer, let's head to the cloche area so I can put away this stuff. And now to really not put it off any longer, let's head to, it'd be here, 200 base world. Because I have a lot more. I'm taking off the plate. Well, no, I'm keeping, I'm keeping it on because I don't know when it will transfer. And I want to have the protection when I get to the next world. Because I built until I reached height 249, which means this is height 250 here. I already built into it, so I know that on directly 250 doesn't transfer me, but I don't know how much up higher I have to go before I hit it. So I'm going to be doing it actually like one layer at a time at this point. Okay, so 251 doesn't seem to. Because you just click on it and it takes you to the other world. Take these steps. I'm actually going to quickly, with that part I just picked up, make some more steps. All right. Brace for it. 252. No. Okay, and the moment it gets dark enough to spawn, I will be placing a torch now at height 2, because I don't want to risk it not being able to place at all. Okay. And I'm going to continue making stairs with the stuff that I'm harvesting, because I don't want to actually run out of stairs once I get there. I did not think of that ahead of time. Alright. 253. Alright. Still good. I didn't do much research. I literally found like one video where the guy's like, It's 250 something. Then he went off to go check what it was. I'm like, it's 250 something. And I just turned the video off because I did not want to watch it at the time. But I'm excited. Oh, there's the transition. Oh, I actually had to step into it. Got it. It's going to take a minute for it to spawn me in, because it spawns you in a 1x2, 1x3 apparently, little space. All right. I'm surrounded by andesite. So if I were to go one block lower than that, 4 here, I would end up teleporting back to the place I just was. That's 4, 5, 6. Oh, what do I get for putting the hammer on andesite? It does not harvest andesite. Alright, you did a good job, hammer. Take a break for a while. Pickaxe time. So that's 3. 4 wide. Okay. I'll go 1 wider to make a foothold. This is a fun tool because it also acts as a shovel, not just an axe. I had forgotten it did that when I first started playing again, but after some experimentation I figured out that's how it works. Okay. Alright. Okay, time to start working up again slightly. Then we go back to the pickaxe. I don't want to bother having the hammer out so I can hit regular stone with it, because that'll just fill up my inventory with even more garbage. My, like, quick bar with even more garbage, I mean. Alright, up 1. There we go. It looks like 253 probably was the crossover point. I just needed to actually touch it, like, physically with my character's body. I'll keep that in mind when I get close to that in this realm. But this was the main reason why I wanted to be on this, do this on stream, to just transition to the new world and have that recorded. My first experience with it, which is so far just mostly minerals I can get in the overworld. But there's stuff here you can't get in the overworld. And I'm starting to run into it. Like, I can't get ore blocks in the overworld. There's void stuff like called the void miner and things, but there's no void to mine. It's all stone. So redstone, and it does actually seem to be showing up in clusters of the material, which is nice. Wasn't sure if it'd do that or if it would be entirely randomized. Because they have added new ores like this nickel ore. That's not in vanilla. Vanilla, as they refer to non-modded this game. Okay. It'd actually be helpful to have, instead of my achievement book, actually I'll put that up to fill in spaces and stuff as I go to. More nickel looks like. Yep. here a bit, clean this up some, so it doesn't look like such an eyesore when I come around the corner. Go here. Get this coal started mining. And actually place that there for those dark spots. I want to try to get to height 10 before I teleport back home on the main stairway, not on these offshoot pathways. For resources, collecting these offshoot pathways do exist. God, it was it's annoying when this happens, but it's going to happen a lot more since we started out so low on the z-axis or y-axis. I keep getting the z and y-axis messed up and that stuff. Okay. I thought it was one resource node connecting to another resource node, a resource spawn point, which does happen quite often in Minecraft. Okay. Alright. Making progress, making progress. Okay. Then we go down to heal. We go from heal. Go. Okay. Oh, redstone's going to get mined, which is actually going to turn into regular redstone. Redstone's interesting. You saw it there for a second. When I'm flying, I have considerably slower mining speed. Silver ore, iron ore. I have to be quite careful because I am theoretically mining upwards, which means if I trip into lava, which is very likely to happen at some point, it will just flood down my entire cavern. Okay. Slowly making my way up, making sure I don't get overly filled. All right. Continue this way. Not too long. Oh. That just restarted. What happened? I don't know how long I was disconnected because I just looked over and it said reconnecting. We'll see how long that happened for later. Well, I don't know if I'll see how long that happened for later. Shouldn't have any real connection issues. We got really good network now. We had crappy network for a long time. We got really good network now. So I shouldn't really be having those issues as such. Boop. Boop, 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 boop. And one more up. All right. So at this point here, this is where I'm going to start making my thing, my base outward. So I'm going to bring the roof up 2. So from that point, yeah, it reset the timer. I have no idea how long I've been going live now. That's going to be annoying for knowing when I should, or when it's been long enough for me to feel justified in getting off again. It's only 9 o'clock, so it's only been like half an hour probably. I'll go by, I was on at 8:30 or so, for the sake of those estimations. osmium ore. Osmium ore is quite hard to mine. I have an emerald pickaxe, which is the same level as cobalt, which is one higher level than obsidian. I don't know why I blanked on that word for a moment. So, it should be able to mine anything we come across in here, or I come across in here. It's just common nomenclature to say we when you're broadcasting to a live audience that is watching you do that type of thing. Or a belated audience that will watch it on VOD later. Which I wonder if how many viewers I'll get on VOD. I checked the first two parts and I had a surprising number, honestly. I am... Ooh, black quartz ore. Black quartz is kind of useless. But it's interesting to see. Yeah, this place is going to end up looking messy by the time I'm done with it. Oh. It's charging. So I guess that works. I'm happy that works. The Flux controller actually worked. I think it's called God mode or something where it lets you charge in between dimensions too, or it's supposed to. Redstone. Chunk. 2, 3 up. There we go. It's gonna be annoying to mine that stuff. I'm trying to make a... Oh, I got a resonating redstone crystal. That's actually really annoying because that's going to take up space in my inventory. Okay. I'm working on making a foothold right now. Need to keep an eye on my Y coordinate as I'm mining this coal out. Which I don't even really need this coal. I just like mining stuff, man. If I see a resource, even if I really, really do not need it, I'll go mine it. Just out of habit more than anything else. Frap. Now, since there's no dirt or anything down there and the entire thing is lit up, nothing will spawn in there. Even if I cover it. And never go back. Ever. Okay. This is a good place to take... This feels like a good place to take this. Go here. Shift or right click. Add new. Base mine. Well, I'll go actually entrance mining. Entrance mining. Because other than adding a couple of things, like if I now go like this, entrance mining. Back to base we go. Okay. It looks like something I was trying to do didn't end up working that well. These are ender anchors. They're supposed to, theoretically, keep a chunk loaded. It looks like that might not have happened. I should probably go check on my cows. But I want to put away some of this stuff first. Okay. First things first. The redstone can just get thrown in here. The emerald can get thrown in there. Resonating redstone crystal. That's kind of an annoying one. It's a nice item to get, but it's kind of annoying that I got it because it just takes up a slot in my inventory. Silver ore. The ores I'm holding on to. If it's something that actually breaks like that, I'm not going to... If it stays in a block form, I'll hold on to it. If it's something that breaks like coal or redstone, I will bring it back here. As though I need coal. But, yeah. I have a different plan for the other stuff. That's what these are for, is for the other stuff. that I end up running into in there. Let's take this. Put all that in there. Okay, so that took up some of my stuff. So I want to have that and accessible. Dirt I want to hold on to because it's actually quite difficult for me to make dirt. Should I say annoying for me to make dirt? Yep. So far, so good. Alright. And if I go back up to this, entrance to the mining dimension. Takes a second. I actually have to now make it go really bad. Animals. Because I want to check to make sure these boys are fine. They're good. They're good. Feeding time. Wait for the ding. Melodic alloy. Iron. I've stopped bothering to put them back in their pens because the cleaver only hits one enemy at a time anyway. So it's kind of worthless to do it otherwise. Hello, viewers. I don't know who's on right now. I don't know how to check that. If I can check that. I probably can't check that. I don't know. No. But, hello. Yep. As the name of this one suggests, I finally made it to the mining dimension a little bit earlier in this stream. Which I do suggest if you're coming in late or anything like that, just like watch from the beginning type of thing. If you're really here to do like the live chatting and that type of stuff, then you can like keep up with it. Is a good way to do that. But if you're just going to watch or just kind of like Overwatch type thing, you might as well just watch from the beginning, basically, so that you can keep up with what's happening a little better. As I sneak up on it, as I just walk behind the sheep, it slowly in before killing it. Of course, I got a sheep trophy. Don't really care, but I got a sheep trophy. Okay. Entrance to the mining dimension. When I do switch dimensions, it does take a moment to load. Thank you. Hi. Whoa. Okay. I've been on for a little bit. I forgot to message you, Chris, when I started, or when I was about to start, because I was kind of running late as it was anyway. Just make sure, yeah, some stuff fell down there. Make sure I grab that. Just block that off for now. I'm actually going ahead. I'm going to go in this direction some. Because I want to build out a little bit of a space to keep my stuff. I don't want to go... Yeah. Yeah, this stream's not going to be too long before I go back to just doing mind-numbing stuff. I just wanted my actual like transition, first time coming to the mining dimension, to be on stream. Yeah. Killing the sheep's fun. I kill all the animals when I can, man. Because they'll just make it lag. They'll just make it run slow and lag, and I already have drops every now and then just from the amount of stuff that I have crammed in my base back home. Base back in the regular dimension. Okay, now that I've worked one over, I can put a torch here, because the steps will continue from this point, the stairs, for when I keep going up. But I need to make a space so I can put down these. And I left my stone one in the other dimension. But I can put down these, so I can take some of these ore blocks and start putting them in the chest so I don't have to constantly go back to the base dimension for everything. Just several things. And I'll probably start putting some other things that aren't as important in those things. It'll just be a learning process for myself. For myself, mainly. What's that? Uranium ore. Ah, uranium. I love uranium in this. It's such a good block. Just for its effect more than anything else. It actually makes magmatic generators feasible for like early game. Because before they really became slow so quickly in other mod packs. But when it's the only thing you got available at the start, might as well use it. Quartz. It's so weird seeing overworld quartz. Because there's no end, no nether in this, I should say. There is an end. The end is fun. But there's no nether in this. Which is what that one thing I had in the overworld near my mob spawner type stuff was for, because it makes a fake, it's a biome maker. You make a biome by putting in certain items. And the reason why you use it is because Thaumcraft, which is integral to this mod pack for some basically annoying reasons more than anything else, really don't like the way it's implemented. Just in general, by itself, I think it'd be fun to mess with in like a world. Integrated into this type of progressive mod pack, it is a nightmare to work with. It requires so much outside Googling and research just to figure out what you actually need to build, in what order, and what affects what. Because most of the stuff doesn't appear in the JAI. There's no like recipe in the JAI. It shows up in the JAI. There's no recipe in the JAI, which is the just enough items interface. Most of the stuff doesn't appear there from it. But you have the book, the Thaumonomicon, I think, that tells you how to build stuff. But it tells you how to build that stuff as part of a plot line type thing that is kind of esoteric and dreamlike is a main aspect of it. Like a main theme in it is knowledge gained through dreams and observing dreams. That just makes trying to figure out what you're actually supposed to do to build the thing very annoying and difficult. Like, a good portion of what I was working on today was I made some Thaumcraft stuff. I made something for storing Essentia, which is the stuff that you usually have to like turn into Viz crystals to do stuff with, and there's certain things that work with Essentia. It's confusing, yeah. But I couldn't figure out how to actually get the Essentia into an item that's supposed to transport it. I had to build a different item to tell me how much of the Essentia was in the first item, so I could keep track of how much was required to fill a third item to transport it to a fourth item. Technically, there was workarounds to some steps of that, but yeah. And almost none of those items have recipes in the JEI. So it was just annoying as heck. Because also, since this is Stoneblock, some of the things about it, some of the interplays present within it, don't work. And since this is Stoneblock 2, which is a Feed the Beast mod pack that hasn't been updated in probably over a year at this point, there's versions of Thaumcraft. Thaumcraft has at least 4 different versions. I don't know what version of Thaumcraft is in this. And some stuff works completely differently in different versions. Okay. Let's start All right, I have 31, so 6 by 5 should be enough. Because I'm not going to place all of them, but... Oh yeah, Chris, if you missed the first part of the stream, I upgraded my jetpack to the final stage of this line of jetpacks. Because Stoneblock has 2 concurrent lines of jetpacks. The Simply Jetpacks mod is Simply Jetpacks 2, and there's 2 types. If I actually look at it, there's the path that leads to the Flux Infused, and there's the path that leads to Dark Solarium. I finally got my Dark Solarium jet plate, as you can see. It has the highest energy capacity out of all of them. It does use a lot of energy at once, but it has the highest energy capacity. It also has 12 armor, which is one of the main reasons why I really wanted to get it. So I finally got my Bat Souls while I was playing by myself, which was great. And I was so giddy and happy when I finally got it, I gave myself Rainbow Smoke. Rare Earth, okay. I love this jetpack. It's actually been really helpful in certain aspects. Some stuff, I was so used to having the crappier ones that I'm getting constantly tripped up by it. But a lot of stuff's a lot better. This one, for instance, a big part of it is if I don't press shift, I don't descend. Like, I'm not touching my keyboard right now. At all. I don't descend anymore. I just stay in place as long as I have energy. And thankfully, my Flux controller actually does transmit interdimensionally, so I will always have energy. At least I hope it still works in the end. If it doesn't work in the end, I did do research. I can try out different things to try to make it work in the end. Source Quartz Crystal, I'll take back with me. Cobblestone, I accidentally left the cobblestone chest in the other dimension, so you guys can stay with me for now. Okay. Actually, cobblestone, go there so I can step on you. Because if I'm flying, I mine super slowly. That door. There it is. Yep. But if I'm planted on something like that, I actually mine at my regular speed. Yep, that works. Then there. Go up. Lead near silver. That's kind of interesting that that's happening. Then lead goes there. Some of these are very dark. I might put a light here. I'll put some lights closer by so see if that helps brighten up the pictures. It appeared to, which is odd. That should make it more visible while I'm working. All right. Yeah, I won't be streaming long because this is going to take a long time, and the really interesting, important stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of yellow dots in front of me, but the really interesting and important stuff won't really happen until I get to the end, which is another 243 blocks upwards away. There's also some stuff I want to work on in this to try to keep my base safer while I'm working. It's going to take a while for me to get up there, and I'll hop on every now and then, like every day or so, or like every 2 days like I just did, to just like do like updates and that type of thing. Maybe stream for an hour, hour and a half, depending on how I'm feeling at the time. But once I get to the end, oh boy, some fun stuff's going to happen. And eventually, I will get burnt out on this again, like I usually do, and then I'll probably start playing something else for a more extended period of time, and that will get streamed for a while until I start getting burnt out on it, and in circular fortune like that. Nope, not up there. Okay. Okay. Yeah. The most interesting thing about being in the mining dimension is I'm going to have to start dealing with mobs and stuff and those big cave systems you can see in the upper right map. And it's, they like changed the way mobs spawn in this, I think, because they only spawned when I was close to them. In like Sky Factory, you have to be 25 blocks away, so you usually have to be at least a chunk away from a mob area for it to spawn, whether it's a friendly mob or a hostile mob. In this one, the bats didn't spawn in the dark room, and no enemies spawned in the dark room either, until I was like AFK, like 16 blocks away from their spot. At most 16 blocks. It was like so close to them. And then I come back to my computer after like being in the bathroom, and I'm like, I hear a bat. I hear a bat squeaking. And like ran around and caught it with the soul vials. And then I still heard squeaking, so I'm like, both of them spawned. Because you need two, because there's two jet thrusters on here. Because each one of these thrusters needs a flight control unit. Each flight control unit needs a soul vial with a bat in it. So you need two bats to make this jetpack. You also need an Enderman, because Ender crystals require Enderman. But yeah, I had everything but the two bats for the longest time, because I was able to spawn an Enderman using a different item mechanic that they put in here. But yeah, it was so satisfying to finally be able to do that. Okay. Skibbity doobida zibbida doo. Random noises. That's the height I actually really needed it. Rainbow sparkles. Rainbow smoke. The only issue I've had with this is, again, I'm so used to the other ones that were so much slower and didn't have quite as much functionality in certain ways that I keep like overshooting things or going too fast and just flying halfway across my base before I know where I am. One, two, three. Any more? I hear you, monsters. Only faintly. I did change the audio over to my headphones. I have to turn up the audio mixing for Minecraft personally so I can actually hear them better. Because the headphones have a lower audio mixing than my speakers do. Okay. Ah. Nickel ore and uranium ore. Yep. That's going to take a long time to do stuff in. And this is how I'm basically going to be progressing for the next several days, basically. It's just slowly climbing my way up. I'll probably make teleport points at the 50s. every 100. At like 100 and 200, I'll make a teleport point. And if I run into anything like really interesting, I'll probably make one there as well. But yeah. It's like I'm in vanilla again, mostly. Except for these. Just the world the way it looks now. I'm getting rid of that. That's always something that bothers me. Alright. Alright. I'm going to head back to Overworld for a bit. Which is going to take a minute to load. Because I was in there for quite some time. Okay. I'm really happy about my Insanium essence. I really smoothed this up. It is coming so much faster. Because I also figured out when you have multiple of them that go into like a single spot, one of them sends it through the pipe, and then the next one sends it through the pipe after the first one finishes sending it through the pipe. Like if you look at this, once something shows up, it just got sent, and this stuff takes a moment to grow. It will actually tell you where it's going. It will show you the steps the thing's taking. Went down one, then got delivered. Is what that means. So that's it getting delivered. If I have two of them, with the way that this stuff grows, it will be constantly... It won't back up. Before, it was backing up like crazy before I did this, pretty much, and spaced it out a lot more. And another thing I finally got was I finally got my last Awakened Draconium seed. I actually still have a few nuggets left over, which is nice. And since you missed the start of the stream, I'm going to show you this. My singularity producers, these neutronium compressors, because you need singularities to make an infinity catalyst, which is required for quests and stuff. I now have 11 singularities out of the 13. I'm only missing diamond and emerald. And to help with getting some of that stuff, I finished up the second row of my cloches. I'm going to be making a third row. Let that sink in for a moment. Each one of these ender things are in a different chunk. Those ender anchors. Yeah. 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 I'm going to head back to base again. My soul binder, so I could use those souls to get the stuff. Yellow niter. Yeah, this stuff. This pissed me off so much, these warded jars. This warded jar here, you can't tell what's in it. I have to be wearing a specific item to be able to tell what's in it. Same with this thing, which is put on top of this thing. So this thing gives essentia. Once you smelt an item, it gives the essentia from that item to this. To know what's in this, you have to be wearing those goggles, and you have to have a certain amount of each essentia to put into a file, as in the little bottle file. And yeah, it was irritating to try to figure out, because there's several versions of this, because there's several versions of Thaumcraft. The more recent versions only require 8 essentia to be put into a file. This requires 10. I need 10 essentia to put into a file. So I can transport it 10 at a time. I think this currently has 5 air potentia in it, which is this one. Yeah. It might also... I don't think it does, but I don't think it has any of the crystal one because I didn't want to overload it. Arcane Workbench. This thing. I freaking hate the foci. I really need to try to figure out how that works. But because I have in here, oh, actually, it's still on my person because it goes in the bauble slot. Focus pouch. This. This is a blank lesser focus. It's supposed to let me cast frost on something I touch. I can touch. It costs Viz. That Viz is supposed to come from just the air around me, is my understanding. But it might cost Viz from your inventory. I don't know, because this stuff is poorly explained. Because the only thing that explains it is this book. This frickin' book. And it's all in esoteric, like, dreamlike language and being, like, about exploration and discovery and all this other stuff. And sure, it does tell you the information. You just have to read it about 5 times to understand what it says. These 2 pages are telling you how to craft a spell. Because you actually have to lay out the spell components in a certain way to be able to craft the spell. It's so confusing and interlinked in such odd and weird ways. Alright. Yeah, I'm about to drop out again for tonight because, like I said, I just wanted to make sure I went to the mining dimension on stream, so that'd be recorded. I'm going to be doing a lot more busy work type stuff. Try to stream almost every day if I can help it. And yeah, the next one's probably going to be called More Random Busy Work Part 3. But it'll be fun. Eventually, it'll be fun. Once I get to the end, it will be really fun. Once we see, or once I can perform the summoning ritual. Because since there's no dragon, the boss does actually require a summoning ritual. Not a complicated one, but it is a ritual. I'm just checking to make sure none of these filled up while I was gone. Because theoretically, while I'm in that other dimension, this stuff should still be progressing. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't. Over halfway on the diamond. Not quite halfway on emerald. Oh, it actually tells you percentage. I did not know that. Jetpack. Whee. Rainbow smoke. Okay. But before I go, let's go see if I have to kill some children. Come here, Iron. Come here. Don't hide in the corner. Just because you've watched at least a dozen of your own children die. The other 2. What's in the Logic alloy? Liquid death. Yep. Hiding will not save you. Neither will it save you. I had to replace my iron cow because I actually picked up a bucket of liquid death for one of the achievements, and that stuff just causes severe damage to anything it touches, and I couldn't put it back in the thing when I tried, so it ended up spilling, and my iron cow was touched by it. So I have a new iron cow, actually. So this one hasn't seen dozens of its children die, only probably like 6 or 7 at this point. Anyway. And on that note, I think that's going to be it for tonight, people. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed what you did see, and all that. Make sure you check out the channel if you need to catch up on some other stuff. I'm going to try to make a playlist with all these videos together in one set so that people can catch up when they need to. And on that note, once again,